And welcome back to another episode of the Backup's Backup. Every other department's last resort, but we're here and we get paid sometimes. We have had another file yet again slid across our desk again. That is our job. But first, I believe. Oh my gosh, I didn't even introduce my coworker. I am here with Chase.
Morning.
Unbelievable. And I believe he has something for us.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start off the day with something called a high-low buffalo. So I definitely stole this from one of my favorite podcasts, but who cares? I'm sure they won't mind. So basically, we give a high of our week, a low of our week, and then a buffalo, which is just something else. I can go first to lead off by example. My high this
You,
week. Go ahead.
sorry, just real quick. You have no pressure to look at me on your second camera.
I
I will
do
just.
that. What you don't know is I do that anyways.
Okay. I'm
Not
sorry to
even
interrupt.
before. You're
Continue.
good. You're good. I love to look at my coworker co-host, Jacob. Anyways,
Stop.
so my high for this week, I think my high for this week is overall just the Superman movie coming out in about a month.
Oh hell yeah.
I keep seeing just the coolest promotional stuff for it, and it just makes me so happy. Like David Cornsweet playing with those kids. Have you
Yeah,
seen this? That just
I
makes me
have.
so happy.
Yeah,
Um,
he seems like a cool dude.
he seems pretty great. I loved Henry Cavill as Superman, but
Me too.
you know, and, what's his name? David Cornsweet is really making me feel good. So
Yeah.
that's my high. My low is right before I started this podcast, my dog had diarrhea and I had to clean it up. That's pretty terrible. And then my
I
buffalo
believe you
is
described it as a patty.
it was a
A patty?
patty. It was like, a cow farm.
Yeah.
There's gonna be patties outside. Um,
It's gonna be patty.
my buffalo is I think my buffalo is that I found my 3DS.
Okay.
And
For the viewers at home, can you explain what the buffalo category means?
yeah, it's just something else you want to talk about. I found my 3DS and started playing it, and the novelty of finding it and playing it was much more fun than actually playing it. But I played a couple fun
Okay.
games of Mario Golf, so that's why it's a
Okay.
buffalo and not just a good.
Okay. Awesome. Am I also supposed to give a high-low buffalo?
Yeah, giving me a hollow buffalo.
Okay. My high for this week was I just got back from dinner for my mom's birthday.
Mhm.
We had some
Whoa, do our
Japanese
moms have the
food.
same birthday?
Her birthday wasn't today, it was
The
the
fifth?
second.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh no, that'd be crazy though.
That ain't crazy.
Yeah, we'd be one step closer to being married.
Yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate because we're
My
both about to be married.
Yeah, that's true. My low is that I just cracked my phone screen an hour before we
Oh,
started recording, and
oh.
to make matters worse, it dropped from my lap on my while I was sitting here on my computer just doing some stuff, and it dropped from my lap onto my carpet, and it just hit the wheel of my chair.
Oh,
Yeah.
daggers
So
in the chat.
that was rough because I've seen this thing get thrown from my car on accident and like just dropped from my hand in the kitchen like no problem, no scars, and of course I just am not paying attention. It slid between my legs and now it looks like I gave it a curveball across the window.
It's so sad when they let you down like that. When you know they can survive
It's
harder.
exact. It was just like that perfect angle of just really ruining
And you know
my
what
life.
else? When that
Go ahead.
happens, you heat like based off the sound, you know it's
Oh
broken. You
yeah,
know what
I
I
had
mean?
headphones on those, and I wasn't. I was like distracted
Oh
while it fell.
no!
Yeah, so I picked it up and I was like, no. Anything else, dude. And then my buffalo, my little random one. Um, my while I was at lunch with my mom, she gave me a bunch of my old stuff. So I'm
Oh,
hoping I could have some fun show and tell at the beginning of next episode.
oh, that'll be fun. We could do
Yeah,
show and tell is a good idea for us.
yeah.
I'm
So
glad you
I'm
said that.
hoping that if we like it enough, and same with like the spoiler alert male canon event portion, which yes, I did my homework. Okay,
Very
guys,
exciting.
they'd be cool to make individual episodes for like a Patreon or something like in the future.
Yes. Yeah.
Just expand on that.
We could do like three to five show and tells.
Yeah.
Because I got a lot
So
of stuff. I can
yeah.
show off some stuff.
So far, all I've managed to do is clear out all my binders of like homework that makes me sad that was like what I considered like the hardest thing I did that day,
Oh,
and like yearbooks that I did not need to see how I looked back then, like 10 years ago. But which actually, yeah, literally 10 years ago. But it was like a
Oh.
bittersweet. It was like I sound like I'm about to cry. It was like bittersweet. It was just crazy. And I'm like a third through all the junk, and I'm looking forward to throwing more stuff away.
That's my boy. Got to get it out. So I am so patiently waiting this mail cannon
Dude.
event because I think this was my favorite part of the last podcast. I think it's gonna be a
Yeah.
favorite. I really do.
I had a great time making the list.
It's so funny. As soon as you start making
Yeah.
them, you just start laughing.
It's just like, because I'll just be driving down the road and I'll see something that makes me think of like, oh my God, I got to write that down. And then it's just, so
Yeah.
that's what I did all last week.
Okay. I can't wait. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the honorable mentions from last episode that I already brought up, well, when it was like hitting me in the moment,
Mhm.
was my ability. The moment I found out how to do the Super S was groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah, I felt like the Mona Lisa was nothing compared to what I could do with a pen and paper.
Well, yeah,
Okay?
because it's right in front of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And then of course the Power Rangers special episode where all the Red Rangers got together
Dude.
was also one of the most momentous. Like me sitting on my
Ah.
couch with some Pizza Hut in my hand and just being like, oh,
Yeah, dude.
for like
maybe.
an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. I had some milk. I was obsessed with milk at the time, but
Oh yes,
regardless.
I actually do. Yeah. Which shows you got some thick ass bones.
yeah.
Okay, so I do have. I don't know if this list is too long. I don't remember how long yours was. Obviously, we can always cut some out and save it for the bonus episode. I also have others that I left out of this list just in case we wanted to talk more about it. But nevertheless, getting into it, we're sprinkled in between like funny stuff and real stuff and everything. So the very first one is you had yourself the Hex Girls.
Yep.
My Hex Girls was Sam from Danny Phantom.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
And
thought you were gonna say something else.
really?
I thought you were gonna say Kim Possible.
Oh,
As soon as
no,
you started talking, I was like, he's gonna say Kim Possible.
no, but not a bad pool, but no. But also it was, if you remember Ember McLean, she was a ghost in Danny Phantom, and she was like a rock star ghost. She would use her guitar to like shoot kisses.
Oh man.
Basically another a goth rock star.
Shoot
that
'em
just
at
also
us.
could fly. Yeah. Yeah. I'll take it. And then okay, so this other one is one that I was thinking of while I was driving down my neighborhood, and one of our neighbors has grandkids that likes to ride their scooters around. And if you remember the first time you went downhill on a bike so fast that you thought you were about to like crash, but you felt that the whole way down the hill until you like got pretty much your first brush of like true adrenaline.
Pure fear and excitement for the first
Yes,
time.
mine was even worse because I was like following my brother down a forest, which isn't a road, by the way, and he went full speed down the hill, and he's like, "If you're not right behind me, we're gonna have like big brother shit." That's like, come on.
Yeah. Oh.
So I felt pressure to go all the way down, and I did, and it was terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. You did good.
My next one is a more serious one. Finding my passion for working out, which I know you can obviously tell I barely fit in the frame.
Yeah.
But that was a big build of my character. It's a
Definitely
big helpful for my mental.
helps you
To be
sleep.
completely honest with the audience here, I haven't worked out in a minute because I'm recovering from an injury and I'm scared to get back into it. Okay. Next, I have buying my first Dragon Encyclopedia at the Scholastic Book Fair.
Dude, that's such a good pull. Oh my god. The Scholastic Book Fair? What?
It was either Dragon Encyclopedias or it was those like How to Be a Spy books with just like the most cheaply made tools and shit.
Dude, at least you got books. I'd get like the coolest bookmarking folder they had.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
I
$20.
Yeah, I got the books with the least amount of words I could find, pretty much is what I did. Following that is learning my first flip on a trampoline.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah. I felt like I could just be a gymnast. I was like, why is everyone talking like this is so hard? Like, just put me out there.
Yeah.
Next is more serious one is I have a baby brother, a nephew, and a niece, and they're all introduced into my life at like different times in my childhood. So pretty much I was like always a caretaker up until like my high school graduation of some sort. Had a big influence on my life, how I grew up. I feel like that would be a pretty definition of a canon event of me always like being close to someone that might need a hand or an extra guardian.
I think so.
Following that, I have finally breaching the Peach Fuzz phase. Now, now the argument could be made that I'm still trying to do that, but used to be way worse.
Yeah, it's
Trust me.
definitely better now.
Used to be way worse. My next one is realizing stunt doubles pretty much are the ones that do all the cool stuff.
Oh my god, that one's
So,
so good. Oh, just being
so in
so let
movies,
down in 2009 or whatever year
dude,
Iron Man came
yeah,
out.
there was a year where I was just like heartbroken, but also it was bittersweet because it forced me to like really appreciate like acting, like true acting, aside from just like the explosions and fight scenes, which I also found a love for choreography through that too. But it just forced me to expand. Like I'm a big media head as Chase is in different ways,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was just like one of my things that forced me to get into it in a different way, because I realized that Chris Hemsworth couldn't fly, and I was like, oh damn it, okay, cool.
Yeah, this is dumb now.
Yeah, I don't even care. Obviously, an honorable mention is my first kiss, my first car,
Yeah.
like those big firsts when you're younger and overthink everything, right? And then of course we have the first time I almost shit myself as an adult.
Oh no. No.
So
Yes.
that
Oh,
like
these are good.
line of fear of like pure embarrassment, but also like I'm about to have Dookie in my shorts,
Dude, those are the
you know?
best because every I don't care who you are, everybody, every human, no matter what, can relate.
Yeah.
It's the
Yes.
pure fear.
Yes, it's that primal like, oh my god, please no. Like especially if you're driving and you like form these kind of sit like for like just try to some kind of shake your stomach to close it off while also going down the interstate just trying to race home.
Or like when you like I used to do this sidebar. I used to do this
Okay, okay.
when I was little and I knew I was probably gonna throw up.
Okay.
I would
Okay.
like I would like pray and like
Oh yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
like barter. God, I swear,
Yes.
if you make me not throw up, like I'll be so
Dude,
good.
even though like when we were too young we were so afraid of it, but now I know it'll make me feel better. So I'm like, oh my god, please just let me just get it out, dude.
D-
I'll feel so much better.
You know, this is real. I'm so averse to throwing up. First of all, I don't think I've thrown up in at least 3, 4 years. I don't think I've thrown
Oh.
up since I met my wife.
Mhm.
And there was one time I should have because I got food poisoning. And
Oh.
I went home and I parked in our driveway and I was dry heaving outside of our house like this. I was
Oh
I was
no.
posted up on the house
No.
outside and my jeans were undone and my belt was undone because it was hurting my stomach in the car.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
So
That's
my
the go-to.
pants were about to fall down. I was leaning on the
Yeah.
house, and you guys won't know, but obviously I'm a bigger guy than my wife, and she had to drag me in the house. And then before I could throw up in the bathroom, which I tried in the toilet, I passed out and fell asleep for 8 hours, and then I woke up and I was fine.
What the hell?
I can't. I don't know if I can throw up anymore unless I'm really sick.
Is it a fear thing or like you just don't?
It used to be
Like you
like it used to be like every nobody likes to throw up, but it used to be like
right.
I despise it to my core, and I'm an adult now, and I'm not gonna throw up. And
Oh,
then I
okay.
got sick, and I had to throw up, and nothing happened. I dry heaved until I passed out.
That sounds way worse than just throwing up.
I think it is. I
Yeah.
think it's worse.
That for sure sounds terrible.
But anyways,
Um,
that was a
I
great
did.
one.
Yeah, that was. It's just so like it's those like first feelings of like the genuine heights of each emotion,
Yeah.
and that one being obviously like a combination of a couple. Following that, another first time I have is the first time I beat my brother for real in a 1v1 Black
Oh,
Ops Rust
oh,
deathmatch.
dude, that's so good.
Of course, like that also encompasses all of the times I beat. I have a couple older brothers, so like our first 1v1 basketball game that I won, and you could tell that he wasn't taking it easy on me, but he was trying to be like act like it was no big
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
But
You won.
he's like low key catching his breath and just wants to like go back inside.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was like couldn't can't even explain how good that felt.
You're elated. You go inside. You're like, Mom, I'm a badass.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you won't even believe like I beat it. Blah blah blah. He's like, shut up. Doesn't even whatever. You know. And then I have learning Pokemon the trading card game before touching the video games.
Oh wow, you were a true learner.
Yeah.
Because
So I am
nobody knows how to play that game.
no, I am a big fan of trading card games in general. I do not have the money for them, so I don't play them that much. But that's definitely started it. And of course, I love all of the Pokemon video
Guys,
games.
send
But
send us some cards.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, in the perfect world, I'll be able to make us fun little like Patreon season month or like yearly
Openings.
card things too. Yeah, that'd be awesome. And then my last one to close it all off is seeing the original It on VHS way too young.
Whoa.
Yeah, my
That's a good
brother,
one,
my
Jacob.
one of my older brothers got it on VHS and convinced my mom that it wasn't that scary. Spoiler alert, it was very scary. Did not sleep for like 4 days.
Oh, dude, you know what? I'm glad you said that. That was another strategy to not throw up for me.
Think of something scary?
Yeah, so if I'd already been sick or was pretty sure I was gonna get sick, if I put on a movie that genuinely scared me and it was dark, it would
Yeah.
usually mask it long enough because at that point you're not worried about sleep if you're gonna throw up.
Right.
So if you weren't so sick you were spinning, if you were just like, oh, you put on a scary
Right, for
movie,
sure.
whoop, goes
Dude.
away.
You gotta just let yourself get through it, bro.
I'm just telling you what I did. I'm not
I know,
saying
no,
it was
I
right.
I respect it. Of course, if I was your age, or I mean, I was your age at that time, but if we were younger now, I'd be like, yeah, exactly. I hate that. Stay out of the bathroom.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
was.
you
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Oh, okay. I thought my first, similar to that, my first scary movie I watched too young was Insidious,
Oh,
and it was very scary at the
yeah.
time.
I don't remember how old I was. I know for sure I was way too young because we still had like he when he got the VHS, we had a VHS collection, and so he had to like pull it out of that. And I
Yeah.
remember him like having to rewind it in front of us first before we could play it because he had just recently watched it. He still loves horror movies, but he was like way into it when he was younger because he had a lot more free time. But I vividly remember closing, obviously not actually, but closing my eyes with my hands over it. But like if you don't squeeze them really
Peeking.
tight, you can still kind of see between your fingers.
Yeah, peeking.
And it felt like I was kind of like seeing through my hands, and I was like, oh, I still can't look away, like a train wreck. It was terrible.
Honestly, that takes away the scary a little bit. People don't think so, but it does. If you look through the cracks, you can still watch, and it takes
Well,
away the
that's why I was
scary.
trying to like just peek, but then scary clown, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with
And
you.
I don't have a clown problem out of that, believe it or not. Like you would think
Mm-hmm.
that would have sparked some kind of like I hate circuses or something.
You probably should, but hey, I'm
I
glad you don't.
Yeah, I don't have a passion for them, but I'm not like no clown, no.
This guy.
Which fun fact, there used to be a thing in where we grew up in where people would dress up as clowns and commit a bunch of crimes. I don't know if Chase remembers that,
Yeah, vaguely I do. I
but
do.
that was a real thing they did for like
Around
only a
middle
couple
schoolish
months.
age.
Yeah,
Is that right? Yeah, I do remember that.
yeah, that was
That
a
was,
real thing.
that was actually scary.
Which yeah, like real crimes, not just like breaking and entering, like stuff.
Yeah, not just breaking it in, right?
Yeah, not that pussy shit.
Real crimes.
Please
Not
don't
like
break and enter my house.
Grand Theft Auto, breaking and entering, or like larceny or something.
Yeah,
Nothing
not
like
that.
that.
That could
The
also be
real
a
stuff.
serious. Yeah, sorry guys, you know what I meant.
Yeah, we know what you meant.
Okay,
So-
but
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna transition into our assignment today. Do you have anything
Please
else?
do. Nope, go ahead.
Okay, so guys, we got our letter slid under our door in our basement, and we were told that now that we have taken care of mosquitoes, the new rising problem is tsunamis.
Obviously.
So we were tasked again with no budget, which is my favorite ones, as little math as possible. And we were told that we need to make these tsunamis either not happen at all or at least happen less for now. Now, I believe I started us off on my little think tank last time.
I believe you
Would
did.
you like to would you like to start us off this time?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, please do.
So this is my favorite part. Every time we have something else to do, I always have to start with the research portion.
Yes.
The
absolutely.
research is my favorite. So, where it took me this time. How bad really are tsunamis? Actually, no, wait. Before that.
I feel like I can answer that for you, actually.
No. Wait. Before that, I actually went, what causes tsunamis? Actually.
Okay,
So-
that's more fair.
Yeah, basically, that's where I started. But basically,
Okay.
what I learned is either you got a. Basically, okay, let me just go really broad and then I'll shrink it in.
Okay.
Somewhere in the ocean, there has to be some sort of commotion. All right?
Okay.
It's got to be a sizable commotion, but that's basically it. So it can range from the movement of tectonic plates I think usually one under another. I guess that's how it has to be. But the rumbling of that, an earthquake, which some say are the same thing. I always thought they were. They were listed differently on Google. Just saying. I don't know. Third
They are
thing,
different.
this one was weird. They said a landslide big enough, or like a rock slide,
Oh,
but they said that
that
could
would have to
also
be.
happen underwater. Which I'm telling you, I didn't. It made so little sense to me that I just skipped it.
I I guess if there was something that had to be truly big enough
Yeah.
to fall far enough down already in that would be crazy.
See, but then if you really think about it, every time like a blue whale dies, does it cause a tsunami? I doubt it. So then the landslide or rock slide would have to be larger than a blue whale. I was thinking about it a little
Oh,
bit, and you see what I mean?
blue whales are big,
They're
by the
so
way.
big. So I don't really know how much weight that has, but that's what it said. But I was used to thinking earthquake over here, ripple, 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 tsunami.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I was used to. But so basically that's it. So
Okay.
then I looked up how big are these things, how deadly and how big are some of these.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
first one that came up was the most deaths for one of them.
Oh, damn. Okay.
It was somewhere, it was from the Indian Ocean, and it was somewhere in Indonesia. But I think it said it vasted a total of like 13 or 14 countries. I guess they
Whoa.
were like all clustered together.
Oh,
And
Indian Ocean, you said?
yeah, and it killed. I think it said like 200,000 people,
What the
or
hell?
maybe a little more than that. A ton of people. But that wave was about 100 feet tall. It must have
Holy
been wide
shit.
it must have been crazy wide. That sounds so dumb, but you guys know what I mean.
There's
And then
there's this thing called a fear of water. It's like some kind of phobia,
probably
and I think I
aquaphobia or
have it.
something.
Something. I think I have it, but I love water at the same time. It's
I
very
love
weird.
water.
Continue.
Um,
Yeah.
so then I found the tallest ever tsunami. And Jacob, this is crazy. It
Okay.
is what you just tell me. I mean, this is a
So
real thing. You just tell me. I think it said it was in the 1950s, and I know where it's at, but I'm not going to say that yet.
is the answer in feet?
Yes.
Okay, so if this one was 100 and you still reacted like that, I'm gonna go 250.
Jacob, can I tell you that you're not even close? Do you want to guess one more time? Or do you want me to just tell you?
Uh, just tell me.
Guys, there was a tsunami that hit Alaska in 1950s, and only 2 people died. I'm assuming because of how big Alaska is, and
Okay.
it reportedly it was 1,700 feet tall,
What the fuck?
1,700 feet tall. It had to have looked like Interstellar, like where they're like, oh, it's a mountain.
Yes.
It's like it's moving closer.
Dude, I can't even wrap my head. Like, if I
Isn't
was.
that's more than half a mile tall, isn't it? Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about those two guys. Those two guys had the scariest final moment. I mean,
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would not wish I. Like, that has to be. Just like you said, there's no worse way to go out. Just
no,
knowing
no. I mean, I think they got crushed to death. There's no way they drowned. I would assume
No.
they just
the
crush.
pressure either crush or like get pushed back into whatever they were thrown into.
Yeah,
Like just like
boom.
yeah, yeah.
But that was a terrifying fact. That was real. I don't
I
know
wonder-
what. Do you think a meteor? Oh, they said meteors can cause tsunamis too.
I did see that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
yeah.
see that.
Sorry, I
I'll
forgot about the
explain-
meteors.
Yeah, you can't. Come on now, you can't
Yeah.
forget about me.
So maybe a meteor hit in the ocean or something, because that's a huge wave.
I was wondering. My two thoughts about that big of a wave would be how far out did it have to start, and
Yeah.
what's the force behind that in like terms of
Oh,
like how many Mack trucks is that? You know, like
Yeah.
what the hell?
Matrix. Dude, I don't know, but it was crazy. We'll have to read more about it.
Yeah.
Maybe comment if you guys want us to revisit that event. Maybe we'll do
Yeah.
a special episode on it. We'll just revisit the 700-foot tall tsunami.
If we ever do Patreon episodes and we just
That's a
like
perfect
get drunk and pick a topic to just teach the class about,
Yeah,
that'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
that's what we can do. So this time,
Yes.
Jacob, I've actually come up with a smorgasbord of ideas.
Okay,
And
okay,
then
I like that.
I sprinkled a cherry, or I sprinkled some I got a cherry on
You
top.
got it. Okay, great. Delicious.
And the cherry on top is I predicted your idea.
Okay. Okay. If you're right and then you take the steam out of my idea, I'm gonna be pissed.
Dude, that would be so funny. I just thought
Okay.
it just came to me and I was like, oh my god, that's a great idea.
Okay. Now let's write your prediction, and then my actual idea will come up later.
Do you want me to do your prediction now or at the end?
At the end, for sure.
Okay, it's very loose because it's
Okay.
hard. There's so many ideas, but
Yeah.
I did write something down.
I'm actually scared though that you're right.
Okay, you know I'm a thinker.
It's true.
I think.
And you know me pretty well.
I do. So my first idea, and we can dive into any of these a certain amount, but I'm just going to
Okay.
start and tell you them all, basic
Okay.
concepts, and then we'll pick one of them.
Yeah.
The first one is, and obviously tsunamis don't hit everywhere, like, and they're not a super frequent thing. So I think most of these would only have to be implemented in places where they think they happen more often, which I don't think is very many places. So I don't think this idea has to be crazy. But my first idea was if you imagine the beach and
can do
then
that.
towards the center of whatever ocean it is, so out in the ocean, maybe 100 to 200 feet, spaced out however far apart, you just make these giant pillars. Maybe 100 feet
Okay.
tall, because apparently 100 feet tall is a pretty big, for an average tsunami, it's really big. It's still big. So if you put like 100-foot pillars out in the middle of the ocean, kind of stack them straight in a row, at least in front of the urban areas, maybe you can make them out of solid glass. They'd actually be really strong.
Okay.
You can make them out of
Like
anything.
triple paned or whatever.
Yeah, I'm just saying you could like see through them, so it wouldn't
Okay.
look too ugly. But I feel like a tsunami coming and crashing a bunch of pillars would probably take some steam out of it.
Like displace it almost.
Yeah, just kind of take a little bit of that force, maybe fizzle it a little bit. Like, you know, when a big
Okay.
wave comes and you're trying to like play in the ocean, I guess, and you and all your buddies stand there and it hits you and then it kind of just goes, bleh. You know, it doesn't
Yeah.
crest properly and crash hard enough. So basically, big pillars, strategically placed further out in a coastline.
Sure.
So the next one, so this is where they start to get very chase style, very fun.
Great.
All right, the second one is last week I happened to watch the Hulk movie with Ed Norton.
Sure. Incredible Hulk.
First of all, my favorite Hulk design ever.
Yep.
The actual Hulk looks amazing. But anyways,
Yes.
there's a scene where they're like at a university and he turns into the Hulk and they try to stop him and they have these Humvees with these giant sound weapons. So I'm thinking if we line the beach with giant sound weapons, you know, and I don't know if you use the word detonate or like shoot them remotely, kind of blast the wave. I'm sure that would do something. I didn't dive too far into that one. It'd be really fun too, though. So basically, sound weapon. Maybe you could take the brunt of some of that tsunami. You know,
Yeah.
You know, it stopped the
Yeah.
Hulk for a little bit. So okay,
Yeah.
the next one.
What's a tsunami if it can stop a Hulk?
Yeah, exactly. So the next one is where it starts to get kind of out there, but
Okay.
whatever. So it seems to me that when a tsunami is approaching, normally the bigger they are, the more time the land has to prepare, like give warnings and stuff, because it starts further out, like you said.
Yeah.
So I think they normally just evacuate and then let it hit, and then they try and assess the damage, basically. So I feel like if you were sticking with that plan, all the coastal buildings have a face of the building that faces the coast. So I think on the side of the coast-facing side of all the most important buildings, you could have some quick deployable sponges, big sponges. So bear with me. Imagine.
Okay.
Have you seen Grown Ups?
Okay.
Have you seen Grown Ups 2? I think it's Grown Ups 2.
I don't know. I don't recall.
All right.
I don't recall sponges from it, so I don't think it's going to be helpful
Well,
to you.
Kevin James has a fanny pack, and he pulls the string, and a giant life raft pops out of his fanny pack.
Of
Do you
course
recall
it does.
this?
Okay.
So
I don't. I'm so
imagine
sorry.
standing at the top of your beloved building, pulling a pin, and then it going poof, and looks like a sponge shooting down the side of the building. And obviously, that would just be damage mitigation, but
Right.
it would probably help a lot of the city.
If every building could do it,
Every coast-facing building, because it's just a sponge.
yeah. for sure.
I mean, whatever.
What's
It
a
would
sponge? But just a sponge.
just a sponge. Okay, so then this last one is my favorite idea.
Right.
This one you would have to save for your 1700 footers.
Oh, so there's like different levels.
You'd have to save this one. Yeah, you couldn't use this one all the time because it's a risky plan. But if you only had one option, this is what you have to do.
Okay.
And I think there's only one option.
I'm a little worried.
Yeah, so you remember how earlier we talked about how tsunamis start?
Yeah.
I think your only option at that point is a counter tsunami. I think you have to point and shoot a man-made tsunami at the other tsunami in hope.
Let's save that plan for my turn.
Well, okay. Well, I'll say that's my favorite.
Try to play it cool over here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I might as well say what I thought your idea was gonna be.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna utilize some kind of like big advanced flotation device.
Oh.
I thought you were going float.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so those are my ideas. We could go in depth to one or two of them if you'd like to.
Yeah, let me write down. The third idea was.
The third idea was the sponges.
Oh shit! I'm 2 ideas behind. What the hell am I doing?
You have sponges, and then you have. Well, I captivated you with the sponges.
It's true. I was blown away by that.
Yeah, the building sponges, and then you have counter tsunamis.
And then we have a counter. We have counter. This is not actually how my handwriting looks. Okay, I'm writing from weird angles.
No.
Too much.
That's all Jacob.
Watch me spell tsunami right the first time, though.
Once you spell it in Google a few times.
You like that?
Yeah.
Did you like that?
Once you spell it in Google a few times, you get confident with the word tsunami.
I do. You can barely read it because it's so tiny.
No, you can read it.
I promise it's right. Now, spelling momentum, and then earlier I think I spelled commotion. Those are probably not right.
Commotion is bad. Commotion
is there 2 M's in commotion?
I don't know.
Okay, bet me neither.
I barely spell, and I only read comic books. So
I think all of these plans, the first 3 can definitely be one big like action plan. Like depending on the seriousness of each tsunami.
Yeah, you know what?
It's only level 1. So the only level 1s, like the pillars will displace most of it, and we'll have like some shoreline damage, and we can handle that.
Yeah, you're right. If we combine all those, it could probably stop a tsunami.
Yeah.
From destroying the city.
Yeah. So like level 2 would be like, okay, this one's a little more serious. We'll do some of those displacing noises.
Jacob, level 2, they're like, deploy the sponges! And it's like, boom!
Go!
Yeah, they're just shooting sponge, like, you know that spray foam in the can?
Yeah, yes.
They're just shooting the sides of buildings from a helicopter.
Talk about Phil Swift here.
Yeah.
He's always relevant. I also, when I screamed go, my monitor turned red from my noise, so if that murders people's ears, I'm just gonna cut it out.
Mine probably did too. I really laid into it.
Okay, good. I don't feel as bad then.
Whew.
What's not one of our episodes if we don't do something wrong?
Yeah.
So then, sponge. Yeah. So there's a. Do you think sponges would be before sound weapons?
No, because just because you have to be so close for the sound weapons.
Yeah. Can I write on the left side here so I can say this would be a level 1, assuming a level 3 is like the worst one.
Yeah.
This would be a level 2. So you actually accidentally wrote them in order, or purposefully.
I did. No, it was accident.
Okay.
But
okay.
when we present it to the president or whoever, this is how we do it.
Yeah, we're gonna act like this was 5 years in the making. And then a counter tsunami is a fantastic idea. But I do actually have something to say about that, but a more like not just the idea, but how we can make it happen.
Oh, you have a counter tsunami method.
Yes,
very good. I was just pumping out ideas, and
that's the part.
That's what I'm good at. I'm good at just throwing stuff at the wall.
We're a think tank. We come out with ideas. There's no such thing as a bad idea, and then we expand on the ones we like the most.
Yeah. So
sometimes we have episodes like that.
Yeah, dude. Do you want to tell me about your ideas to start the tsunami? I had a few.
Do you want to rank yours first, or do you just want to roll right into?
Oh yeah, let's
just it together.
Let's just rank them.
Okay,
I think
okay.
that's a great idea.
Rank them
Obviously,
individually.
well, yeah, let's go just us two. No, let's do this.
Okay.
First, let's rank them 1 through 4. 1 is the best, 4 is the
Okay.
worst, and then we'll
Okay.
rate the best one with a rating.
Okay. I
Obviously,
like that.
actually, we'll rate the second one because the best one is obviously Counter Tsunami.
Right. I wasn't
So,
gonna say it, but
so the other ones though, let's rank
of
those.
the three. Okay.
Yeah. So I think, honestly, I think the pillars are the most doable
I do. I also think that would be the most like
because
it.
I was gonna say because I haven't seen a sponge bigger than like my phone.
But you got to think too. If you have a sponge deployed on the side of a building, and then all of a sudden it is now acquiring all of this weight of extra water, it's probably gonna just like rip apart whatever
Well,
building it's attached to.
maybe, but you can design it to be like breakaway. So as soon as
You're
it
right.
absorbs all the water, just fall straight
Oh, just
down.
like it's on a loose. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, you could do something like that for sure.
You won me over. That was good. That was a good point.
Thanks.
So this will be number one. I do think that the pillars are the things that can be done, and if it sort of works, we can always just make them bigger.
Yeah, or maybe
And then
even like stagger them.
yeah, the only issue would be I wouldn't want to like close off like like boats and like
Yeah, yeah.
fairway travel and like trading and stuff like that.
You'd have to have enough space in between them,
For sure.
or stagger them.
Yeah.
Strategically.
Or pick like a stagger's good, stagger's good.
Yeah.
Or have a couple that can just be like how a bridge can be lowered and raised. Maybe just like two in a row can be lowered and raised.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, not our department.
Yeah.
And then sound weapon and sponges. Now, if I will say sponges was my least favorite until you mentioned the breakaway method,
Yeah.
which I really like. I
Yes.
really do like that.
So I think they're next up. I agree. They're
I do
creative.
think
Nobody's gonna say we thought of the sponges already.
Yeah,
Nobody's gonna say
exactly.
that.
Yeah, it's not advanced technology. Yeah.
And I also want to say honorable mention. I brainstormed the sponges with my wife. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
respect that.
honorable mention because that was
should-
that one's crazy.
Yeah, you're gonna have to let her know that it was a win. It was a big win.
I will. Yeah. And then third is the sound weapons, but it's
Yeah,
probably
for
the
sure.
most accessible because I would be shocked if we don't have some sort of sound weapon.
I do think it would take a lot more research as opposed to like putting pillars in the ground. It is as simple as like blueprinting up some pillars and getting some construction equipment.
Yeah. Just making them tough.
Because
That's it.
yeah, because we build things in the ocean all the time. Sound weapons would be like you have to find the weapon, you have to waterproof it, or you'd have to find some way for it to like get into the water without
Oh my God.
shooting at other things.
Jacob, I just had an idea. Jacob,
I'm worried it's gonna
What
kill
if-
into my idea.
you remember the staggering pillars that I just said?
Yeah.
So
The
like,
thing 30 seconds ago, I remember
yep. So the pillars in a zigzag.
that.
Imagine
Zigzag.
on the side pointing at the next staggering pillar. Sorry, I just drew a diagram on my paper. So like,
Okay, so we have like this.
yep.
Like,
So
okay.
draw a soft line in between each dot. Staggered. So like a W.
Okay, okay.
Yep. So imagine if you were shooting the sound weapon like that pattern from pillar to
Oh, they're
pillar.
like beacons at each other?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you think that's just cool, or do you think like if they were resonating pillars, they could definitely stop, or do more?
So if this was the shoreline and it was
Yeah.
trying to stop a wave,
A cloud.
I'm I'm worried that the sound waves would go both directions.
They might.
So then it would be like still mini tsunamis, which might not be as bad as the cloud one up top.
Yeah. It may. If the sound weapons work, that should do something. That's just an
It is
honorable
definitely
mention.
something.
It's
Yeah.
something. It's honorable mention.
I do like that.
Anyways,
Okay.
it's just like
Are
a sound fortress.
So we're ranking the number 1 or number 3?
Let's rank the pillars. The number one.
Okay.
So
I think the pillars is really good.
Okay. What do you think? Do you have a rating?
Do you want to I don't right off the bat. Give me 2
Okay.
seconds.
I'll do mine.
Okay.
I think the pillars get a 7.9. I think they're almost an 8. I think
Okay.
there's a few variables. You know what
Yeah.
to make them out of.
Yeah.
So what to make them out of, and then also how tall and
Right.
where.
We need to make sure we make it out of material that can be added on too, just in case, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, I do like that. So you said 7-9. I actually, before you even said anything, I was thinking in the realms of a high 7, but I was gonna go 7-6.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically for the same reasons as like it's gonna take a lot of work to put pillars all around like the shoreline, and like there's gonna need to be cooperation between different states and different countries, and I just see that really like slowing down the
I
process.
agree. I agree. Because oceans, lots of oceans are like pirate territory or whatever,
Exactly.
whatever they call it. Same as
But a
Mars.
seven,
Just watch The Martian.
exactly.
Yeah.
The Martian,
Yeah.
one of my favorite space movies of all time.
Dude, honestly, I think it came out very closely to Interstellar, and it got overshadowed because that movie's so good.
Yeah,
So The Martian's
actually
great.
like it. I like it more than Interstellar. That's not. I don't think Interstellar is a bad movie at all. I just happen to like it more.
I might because I've only seen Martian twice. I've seen Interstellar 4 times. I love
Okay.
Interstellar, but I think I like The Martian more. Anyways, save it for the Patreon if we ever make one.
Yeah. When
Like
we
the
make one.
podcast when we make one. Jacob, counter
Yes.
tsunamis. Let's hit it.
Counter tsunamis. Now, you might think to yourself, it can't be as easy as making another tsunami, right? There'd have to
Huh?
be maybe someone in charge of that idea, or perhaps a team.
Yep, a team. Oh my God, you have another acronym? You don't have another acronym.
No,
Oh,
but I am going to introduce to you Blue Watch.
Blue Watch.
Kind of like Baywatch, but they watch all of the blue.
Yeah, the deep blue.
So this is going to be a unique and specified division of Navy SEALs.
They're
Okay.
Navy SEALs.
These Navy SEALs. I would also like to say that the honorable mentions for the team name after Blue Watch was Operation Trident and Gill Team 6. So you guys
Gill
can pick
Team
your
6
favorite.
is not bad.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we do is we are going to have. It'll probably be better if I diagram this while I explain. So let's say that this is a body of water inside this little fun square here. Let's assume the outsider or whatever masses of land you want. And what Blue Watch would be is that they would instill kind of like how there's random oil rigs throughout the river or throughout the ocean.
River. Yeah.
Throughout the imagine just one just bleeding through the smallest river in the world. No. Unfortunately, oil rigs can cause a lot of damage, right? So obviously there won't be oil rigs, but it's going to be the same idea of like it is a little station that is built into the land, or built above the water rather.
A seismic checkpoint, if you will.
Exactly, a seismic checkpoint.
Yeah.
And we will have one every like few hundred miles. So unfortunately,
Okay.
we won't be able to have like one per body of ocean. I would say body of water, but there's like
Yeah.
different. So each ocean, because that's just not like that might have to be how it starts, but the goal is to have them spaced out and have several per ocean.
Hey, Jacob.
Okay.
Wait, let me touch on
ahead.
that really quick. You
Okay.
just sparked a thing in my head.
Okay. Okay.
Have you been to any of the Great Lakes?
I don't think so.
Dude, okay, so I'm sure you've heard they are fucking magnificent. They're huge.
Yes, I've heard.
Has
Great
there
Lakes.
ever been a tsunami at the Great Lakes? I know they don't normally have waves, but if there was an earthquake or like, a meteor or whatever, wouldn't there have
Don't
been a
they-
tsunami? Like, would you have
I
to
don't-
add these seismic checkpoints in the Great Lakes?
I think my plan would fit any body of water.
Okay.
It
Okay,
would just
good.
have to be reduced a little bit.
So, guys, comment down below if there's ever been a tsunami in the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
If
Or
think
if you've
that's
ever
dumb.
had like if you've ever experienced one, or like somebody who experienced one and how that went, that would be crazy.
Yeah. If you have any tsunami survivors, let us know. I mean,
That'd be
that's really
crazy.
intriguing. But anyways,
Yeah. Yes. So we would have these little seismic, whatever the hell you called them.
checkpoints.
I'm sorry. So obviously the space between these are hundreds of thousands of miles. And here's how it would work. So it would be manned by Guild Team 6, and it would be more of not specialized in the sense of like taking down Osama bin Laden, but specialized in the sense of like being able to read like seismic energy like we do like magnitudes for earthquakes now. Go ahead, you're good. Just saying, didn't Navy SEALs take out Osama bin Laden?
I think so. I just
Okay,
it hit me from left field. That's all.
okay.
You didn't
So
do
just
anything wrong.
different kind of specialized. All right. So they will be monitoring, kind of like how like people who work on cruise ships pretty much work like 6 months and then they're off for 6 months.
Yeah, yeah,
So these teams will be stationed at each unit for like longer periods of time and then be swapped out by other teams for longer periods of time so that monitoring can be constant.
yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So what they'll do is that in each rig there will be
Oh, I love this so much.
okay, there will be if this is the rig here and this is like where all of them are and this is the water.
Yep.
There's going to be a device, some kind of sound machine, if you will.
Oh,
And it's going to be kind of like replace where a drill would be in an oil rig, how it's like centered in the middle.
yeah,
But it'd be a device that can send out pulses of whatever they need to be. So instead of it being one big 360 pulse, kind of like how a lighthouse has like a metal sheet that
yeah.
spins around to make that, it would instead be one, like the metal sheet would be a lot longer and it would just leave one little opening.
Jacob, you know what it could be? It could be one really big thin metal sheet, and then just go what?
Yeah, yeah. Scare the other tsunami away. Oh, there's
Yeah.
already somebody over
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So exactly how you said, if there was people up here and they got
Yep.
a reading that there was a volcano eruption or that there was an earthquake or some kind of basically a tsunami is water being displaced, then I think the most effective way were to be to find because if there is a tsunami at this beacon down here and it's like starting here or whatever, it wouldn't make sense to send another one this close because it wasn't able to build up as much momentum
Yeah.
as the wave it's closest to. Because the biggest issue too in my research is that displacement of the tsunami starts it, and then it's the force that it picks up as it continues to build that momentum
Yeah,
that
like
makes it so strong.
Sort of like a snowball.
Yeah,
Sorta.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
In the sense of what we're dealing with, I'd agree completely.
Yeah.
So what they would do is they would find out where it started, and then they would do the math that is not in our department to figure out
Not at all.
which location would be able to create the equal sized tsunami by the time it gets to them.
Yeah.
Because each of these will be built to withstand tsunamis anyways, because they're just going to be big metal tins that can just be sealed up.
Yeah. Yeah. And they would probably have like points on the front,
Yeah.
so that way it would
Yeah.
just pierce the water.
Yeah, whatever they'll find out how to make this whatever aerodynamic is for water.
Aqua dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. You get it.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with your idea, but like, the sound cannon thing down below.
Mm-hmm.
Is sound underwater called sonar, or is sonar something different? Is just any sound underwater that projects called a sonar?
No, because sonar specifically sends out a sound and it knows where things are because of how the sound bounces back, right?
Okay.
So it's not just any noise. It's like the specific device that's trying to listen for how long it takes for that sound to come back to them.
Oh, okay.
Did I pull that out of my ass? We'll find out.
I don't think so, because bats have sonar and they're not in the water, so I think you're right.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much the gist of my idea is that there will be rigs with a team, either Blue Watch or Guild Team 6, whatever you guys feel. I'm leaning more towards Guild Team 6 now that
Yeah.
I've said it so many times.
Me too.
But they would man each device, and of course it's whoever wants to be a part of that division. And they'll just their entire job will be to monitor the oceans. And in my plan, there will be several all around the world that don't do anything but just prevent natural disasters, water-made natural disasters, from hurting the rest of the land.
Okay, yeah, I think this is a fine idea. I think we should
That's
just.
great. That's fine.
I think real quick we should just rate it and then expand upon it, because obviously
Okay,
this
just
was
real
one
quick?
of my favorites too. Yeah. So,
Okay.
I have my rating. I honestly think
Okay.
this is up to an 8.5.
8.5.
Yep,
I was gonna give mine an 8.7. I'm not gonna lie to you.
that's fine. I think it's good. I just think there's a few things we could experiment with that would make it.
Okay.
Eventually, this would definitely be a 10. Because you got to
Yeah.
fight fire with fire. It's a tsunami, for God's sakes. You got to hit it.
Exactly.
So the method of distributing countermeasures, how you have
Yeah.
sound,
Yep.
I think to some degree it's worth exploring. We may need to like have like a giant hammer that just punches the ground.
Like a pulse, more of like a pulse.
Yeah, more of like a earth shaking pulse.
Okay. I'm worried about how we can aim that so it doesn't create like a radial
Yeah,
tsunami in
yeah.
different
We'll have
directions.
to do some research, but
Okay.
you may be able to cause a bigger tsunami quicker from that
Oh,
jolt.
I see.
Yeah,
I
because
see.
if the sound can't build up soon enough, that wave's just gonna pass you and head
That's
to
true.
shore.
Yeah.
It
Okay,
just
I see. So
depends.
in terms of like how fast we can react as a member
Yeah,
of Guild Team 6, patent pending.
yeah.
Okay, I do like that. Was there anything else you had in the back pocket?
Um. So I guess no,
All right. Sweet.
no. I was just thinking that we might be able to like lean into the earthquake side of things with that.
Okay. So do
Um.
you think that go ahead.
No. You're good. I mean,
So
you.
you're wanting to create like a man-made earthquake that wouldn't hurt the earth?
That like it'd be like a mitigation earthquake. It'd be a smaller earthquake that even if it sends a wave to shore or is an actual earthquake, it would
Mhm.
be far more manageable than the holy shit tsunami, like the biggest tsunamis.
What if instead of these,
Yeah.
we do man-made underwater volcanoes because they can create immediate pulses,
Mm.
right? And
Yeah.
that could be a quick reaction.
You know how they make what do they call that stuff like elephant floss?
No idea what you're talking about.
Stuff where they'll have like the science fair volcano. They dump a
Oh, okay.
beaker of like vinegar in this thing and it shoots up.
Oh, I do know what you're talking
They'll
about.
make
Yeah.
like a huge scale of that.
I was gonna say that might work. That could be one way the pillars could be deployed. Instead of it being a constant thing, it's like a
Oh.
foam that shoots up and then solidifies for a moment
Yeah,
just to break through the water.
they erect.
Yeah, and then that way the water like goes through them and it slows them down, and then they like wash away because it's
Yeah, well then
foam
they
or
have
something.
the sound machines and the sponges to stop them.
Yeah, exactly. We can't forget about the sound machines and the sponges.
Yeah. Dude, I think I like the checkpoints.
Thank you.
Of course, we would have to worry about people falling asleep on the job because tsunamis are not frequent.
I was just about to ask you how realistic it is to have so much resources onto something that doesn't happen so that often.
Well, here I'm going to say something stupid. I think there's kind of like
That's
an earthquake season. So I would assume
I don't know if I believe that, but I'm willing to
I
hear you out.
I think there's a time of year where it's more likely to have an earthquake.
But wouldn't that mean that okay, but it's not just like all because it's not like tectonic plates shift more likely in the summer or something, right?
No, just regular earthquakes, the other kind, whatever that means.
Okay.
Jacob,
Okay.
I don't
All
know,
right.
but
No,
I'm just
that's okay.
saying.
I don't either.
I thought there was like a time of year where it's more likely to have earthquakes. So in those type of years, we would have or type of seasons, we would have to have people there probably most days, but throughout the other parts of the year, we could probably have someone there twice a week.
Well, I was thinking too that twice a week is crazy. I was thinking too that it doesn't. We don't have to have like a team of 8 per container. Like it can be smaller teams of 2 or 3 that literally just like lounge, or they can continue to do like studies, or maybe they're like some forms of scientists that
Yeah,
like
maybe they're just also scientists. That's a good
yeah, like
idea.
their part-time responsibility is to monitor tsunamis, but also they're able to do like water research for the tubes we need to build from episode 1.
Jacob, that's a great idea. They could already be scientists that are also taught to
Yes.
work the machine and read ratings.
So so then that way when we put all those resources into all of these checkpoints, it's for more than just one purpose.
Jacob, let me just say something. What if one day after making all these ideas,
Mm-hmm.
we get called from like a senator and they're like, "Hey,
Dude.
we have something."
If we get called, first of all, if we get called by anybody that says they're senator something something, I'm not going to believe them for a long time.
No, me neither.
For
They're
for
gonna
a
have to
long time.
really convince me.
Yeah, and then if they're like, we know you were joking, but we would love to hear you guys spitball more about the turning every football field into a big bucket idea. or like whatever
Yeah.
they grab onto.
Yeah.
I would shit my pants and take a lot of pictures, probably.
Yeah, probably. We dress up in like regular guy suits. We don't have nice guy
Yeah.
suits. We have regular
No.
guy suits.
I mean, we're in the basement. We don't have
yeah,
anywhere to
yeah,
be.
and then we go out there and take some pictures and
Yeah.
blow some minds.
Yeah. I have so not nice suits that I didn't know suits were all bought as like one piece for a long time. I was like, oh, that's a nice jacket. I should probably like get one.
I should get a pair of pants to match this jacket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
do people do this all the time?
Jacob, dude, that's just you learning. At least you learn.
It's true. It's true. I figured it out by myself. It wasn't one of those things that I like was so confident that I was like, that's stupid in front of people. And they're like, no, in fact, you.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to flip this on you, bud.
Yeah.
You're
I got
stupid.
bad news for you. You're going to think about this a lot at night.
Oh, man.
I think we made great ground.
I think so, too. I think this was an exciting episode. I'm really happy you also picked Counter Tsunami. But
Yeah. It's got a lot of leg to it.
It does. It does. You have to fight fire with fire. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
I can't believe you didn't use any. I thought for sure you'd go flotation device.
Dude, my second place was training whales to like flip their tails really fast.
Oh, and spank the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just place it that way.
Yeah, that
Befriend
probably.
Aquaman.
If they were deep out there, maybe that would do something. You know.
Well, I was thinking if they could make like a vortex in the water that would like suck the water in rather than like pushing it onto the land.
Oh, they could perform a Bermuda Triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would definitely, Jacob. Jacob. What? That's such a good idea, dude.
That was my second place.
Imagine. Okay, imagine here. We're just gonna spitball this really quick because we are almost.
Okay,
there.
I got space.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jacob. So imagine the equivalent of an underwater fan.
Okay.
Okay, and it is submersible. It's on wheels. It's remote controlled. It's big. Or you could link up a few of them and they could work together, something like that, so that's easily traversable. But dude, imagine you could drive them to a critical point, turn them on, create a Bermuda Triangle, suckage like underwater tornado, and just disperse the tsunami. It would fall apart right in the middle.
Yeah, and then it would just diffuse.
Jacob, that's a great idea.
And then we just turn the fan off.
Yeah, then we just turn the fan off.
Hey, Senator dude.
Yeah. Vortex, dude.
You have my line?
You said vortex, and my brain just went, oh my god, vortex is the way to go.
Vortex equals win. What a pool, dude. Let's go. This marker's dead.
Yeah,
To
well,
me.
dude, vortex, that's crazy. I didn't even think of a vortex.
That's a great idea.
It
I
seems
hit the trash can.
nice. It seems way more doable, honestly, than the counter tsunami.
I'm worried it would take a while to travel where it needs to be because
It would.
unless we're like trying to meet it as if like these readers would be like this fan needs to be at like X Y blank.
Yeah,
And they'll try to like meet it halfway.
I think we would try to intercept it, or maybe you
Yep.
could have a fan at every checkpoint. You could keep the checkpoints.
Yeah. Well, maybe if we can get the vortex so strong that even if it passes the fan, it'll still be able to displace some
Yeah,
momentum.
it'll still drag it down.
Yeah.
No, I think that's awesome. think
I like
that's
that
awesome.
too.
I like that too a lot, guys. You gotta let us know what you like better: the checkpoints and counter tsunamis, or the vortexes.
Yeah. Or the pillar soap or pillar sponge idea.
Pillars and soap, baby.
I don't know where soap came from.
Yeah,
Bar
yeah,
like a bar of soap, a bar like a sponges or bars. I don't know.
yeah. I don't know, but if they're close
That was
words too.
fantastic.
Yeah, you guys,
True. What
let
a
us
great
know.
episode.
Seriously, let us know what idea you think. If any idea soars above the rest, which one do you think?
Yeah.
Because this is a tough one.
Yeah.
This one, our
don't
skills
know.
are peaking right now.
Yeah. It only took us 4 episodes to figure it out. But
Yeah, I'm sure the future, you guys are going to be blown away by some of the stuff we come up with.
let's not get their hopes up.
No,
Maybe-
get the host up. You need to watch next episode.
Yeah. I also think that a little behind the scenes here, I was telling Chase that I messed up my microphone settings, so we're gonna at least sound better
Yeah.
over time.
And by the
I
way,
should
guys,
sound a little better.
the more traction the podcast gets, the closer we will be to having an in-person studio, a real one.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that is a goal for sure.
That's the thing. So, like the
But of
podcast
course-
or wherever you're watching it,
Yeah.
if you liked it, do whatever the good thing is.
We're here for the long haul, though. We're having a blast.
We are having a
So
blast, so it's
as
not
much
hard.
as you guys enjoy this, we will continue to be able to grow alongside our following. But if not, we're still going to be here and laugh at each other for an hour every week.
Yeah,
So
dude. This is a
um,
good pick me up for the week.
legitimately a highlight.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up.
What a wonderful closer. Chase, where can they find you?
Dude, they can find me at CW Customs on Instagram and YouTube for sure. They can find me on TikTok, but I'm not active on there. Jacob,
That's
where can
okay.
they find you?
You can find me on Muttman, probably with an underscore after it, on TikTok and YouTube. I'm behind on YouTube, but hey, life happens. You probably follow the Backups Backup on TikTok as well.
Yeah,
Like,
TikTok, probably
subscribe.
Instagram, and YouTube too. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
and if you think this episode was funny, share it with a friend. If you want to be able to make fun of us with another audience member, share it to a friend, and we'll laugh with you and cry later. But hey, thank you all again for joining us for a wonderful meeting, another think tank session. Be safe out there, and remember to fasten your seatbelts on the way home.